Every cell has mitochondria, and if you improve the size and strength of those, then theoretically any cell in the body is going to perform better, so you're generally leveling up. It's also possible that red light reduces the viscosity of the fluid in the cell, so it makes the water thinner, which means the mitochondria have less friction to operate against. Next one, and this is wild, there are cellular mechanisms that cause our body to interact with chlorophyll. The idea is that we eat plants, the chlorophyll is sequestered into our tissues, and that we have chlorophyll-mediated photosynthetic mechanisms in our bodies because of that. So this suggests that animals and humans have metabolic pathways to derive energy directly from sunlight. Never thought I'd be saying that in a video. Mechanism number 4 is that red light stimulates serotonin and melatonin synthesis in the mitochondria. So local production of melatonin. And we'll talk about why it's such a cool hormone, but it's so much more than just sleep. This is because the mitochondria produces melatonin directly, and it has daytime effects as well as nighttime effects. The main thing is that melatonin is a powerful antioxidant, so it neutralizes the product of the electron transport chain, which is the byproduct of metabolism, the oxidative stress. I didn't realize this, but 95% of the body's melatonin is produced in the mitochondria, not in the pineal gland. So it's locally consumed by the mitochondria, and that's why there's a difference between blood level melatonin and mitochondrial melatonin. Final mechanism I'll cover here, there's probably loads to be discovered, but red light can displace nitric oxide in the cells, which causes you to vasodilate, which lowers your blood pressure, a possible mechanism for lower cardiovascular disease in countries that have more sunlight. Okay, so there's the mechanisms, and if you're still with me, you might be thinking, okay, well, what's the clinical effect now? Well, what I love is that because of how global that effect is, the clinical effects are really wide-ranging as well. So briefly, we've got skin health, improving the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles and blemishes, enhancing collagen synthesis. We've got improvements in muscle recovery and physical performance. And interestingly, compared to ice baths, which if you've seen our video on ice baths here, then you'll know that ice baths are great for dampening inflammation in the short term and short-term improvements in performance, but they interfere with the mechanisms for hypertrophy, so they hinder exercise recovery. Red light therapy doesn't do that. You get the best of both worlds, and it can amplify rather than hinder the adaptations to exercise. We've seen improvements in anxiety and depression, fat loss in a calorie deficit, improvements in insulin sensitivity, reversing hair loss by increasing the diameter of hair strands, improving cellulite, cognitive function, sleep quality in Dan's case here.
So that was another factor that just boosted my sleep even more through tracking through the Oura ring and whatnot. Saw a direct increase again in my deep sleep levels from just the introduction of more of the near-infrared light.
More improvements from the data, so chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, osteoarthritis. So Dan had improvements in his pain.
After my years in the gym as well, I had quite a beaten up hip and lower back and quite a bit of pain. It significantly helped with that, and the reduction is simply, I think I was just systemically inflamed over the whole body. So I saw a significant reduction there in pain.
One more thing to add is I broke my toe on the day that I recorded that video, and it's now day 4 or 5, and I've been shining red light on my toe, obviously. And for what it's worth, I'm more able to weight bear now. The pain isn't as bad. So take from that what you want to. Maybe with a pinch of salt and a dash of pepper. Even more improvements from the data. So reduction in gum inflammation and gingivitis. Increase in recovery from injuries, both musculoskeletal and wound healing. There's improvements in insomnia. There's also the sexy part, testosterone, that the hypothesis is that if you can improve mitochondrial function in the Leydig cells, which is the testosterone secreting cells in the balls, that by shining red light on them, you can improve your testosterone function.